What's up?
Well, hello, Roger. You're back.
I am back. I tell you what. Look, let me give you a little scenario. Hey, everybody. By the way, I'm sorry, but this is one of the things I want to get off my chest right now.
Oh no.
So, it is a 19-hour ride to the Canadian border from my house. 19 hours. It's 19 and a half if you get stuck in traffic in the Bronx, New York. All right, so 19 and a half hours. We'll say that. So I get on a plane in Burlington, Vermont. I drove from Canada to Burlington because it was just cheaper to fly in-state.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove to Burlington, and then I had a connecting flight in New York and JFK. So that flight was fine, went good, was no delays. We sit down in JFK, and we have about an hour left. It was just me and a bunch of other people, of course, because I wasn't the only one on the plane.
You weren't? You didn't
No.
rent the whole plane?
I was trying to,
okay.
but they wouldn't let me. They said it's not enough money. I said, I don't have enough money. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and over the intercom, they say, your plane is just arriving. It is taxiing down the runway. It should be here in 5 minutes. So we sit there. 20 minutes later, your plane has just arrived. It's now coming up to the gate. So we look back. Seriously, it's coming up to the gate. Now, this case, I don't know if it's Jamaica or Dominican Republic is where this flight came from. So, of course, I wanted them to clean the plane, right? So we're all sitting there waiting. We see the police go past us down the terminal, and then we saw the paramedics go down the terminal.
That's never a good sign.
So about 2 or 3 minutes later, they both came back through the police and the paramedics, and then the plane disembarks and takes back out again and leaves. The same plane that we were supposed to ride into JFK with.
Okay.
Nobody got off the plane, so I don't know if they were quarantining this plane, if there was a law enforcement issue, or what it was. 10 and a half hours later.
Get out of town.
The only ones in JFK down on this terminal, the JetBlue terminal. So we're sitting down there. They gave us some stipends to get something to eat. I'm a fat guy. I had something to eat. So I went and ate at this. We were just talking about this Jamaican place. They bought Rascals or something, right? You said
that's
they're
what I heard.
Going into Rascals. Yeah.
Rascals is becoming the Jamaican restaurant, or a Jamaican restaurant.
Paul. We've got Paul in the studio, and he was saying they ate there this weekend or something like that, right, Paul?
The week before Friday.
The week before Friday, because you were fishing this week.
That's right.
So anyway, by the time I got home, because I flew into Jacksonville and had to drive home, it was 21 hours. I could have drove from Canada to the house and been home quicker. So anyway, that was one, and then one other thing was we were sitting there, and a lady comes running down the terminal, and she's running, and she's screaming, and she's hollering, and she's pulling her bag, and she's got a baby carriage on her, but no baby.
Oh, God.
And she's running, and she slides sideways, and she goes up to the gate, and she stands there, literally running. She's out of breath. She just stands there, and there was a lady standing next to her, said, "Ma'am, your plane is already boarded." She said, "No, it's not. I'm supposed to board right here." She said, "Well, no, ma'am, your plane is right there. If that's where are you going?" They told her where she. Yeah, that's your plane. She said, "Oh no," and she started freaking out. I am not kidding you. The security doors, she ran slap through them. The security in the whole airport wing completely locked down. And I mean, sirens and police officers coming up. And I finally went over because I'm nosy. I went over to the window, and they had her down by the plane on the bottom set of stairs. There's about 12 of them around her. I mean, we call that a police riot. Anyway, they were all standing down around her, and she's still screaming and everything, trying to get on the plane. So they bring her back up, and they bring her into the terminal, and she's standing in the terminal, and they've got the police around her and everything. Her husband just comes walking up with the baby in his arms like this, and he just walks up and stands there. Doesn't say a word, just stands there. They take her off. He turns around and walks off. I was like, oh my goodness.
Did she think they were on the plane? Did she?
No. She was going to miss the plane because she was going to Texas, El Paso. And she was
So
going to
she
miss
did
it
all that.
because she was going to miss her plane.
I've missed many a plane, and I just roll with
And
it.
she went
like,
right to, if you did it, where would you be? You'd be in the bar,
at the bar.
right? Exactly. So, I mean, it was pretty, the trip itself was pretty cool because I met a bunch of new people and we talked and all this other stuff. And I invited them to our Facebook, but we're like locked up on our Facebook. We got so many people. You're right. So anyway, we had a good time, although it was a long, long day. That day was.
Yeah.
And you know, I did all that just so I could be here with you.
I feel so honored.
You shouldn't.
I'm going to pack up and go.
Oh, she's getting her toys. She's taking her toys home. So while I was gone, well, I'm not even talking about your toys. Why
I am going home now.
I see. I could just keep going with this. But
I know.
I'm gonna let it go. So while I was gone though, did you guys, Chris? This involves you too.
Oh gosh.
Did you guys figure out or find, did somebody tell you a name for our, remember we're trying to build our studios. It's Armchair Sports, by the way, located right here in Valdosta, Georgia. We have a website. We have a QR code that is actually on, I call it a Scantron. It's actually on your screen right there. It's not that way. It's that way. It's on the other side of Dana there.
This way?
The other side of you.
This way?
Not my side of you. The
This
other
way?
side of you. No, it's that way, right?
I don't know.
It's under Chris. Let's put it that way. How's that? Everybody can see it that way, right?
That works.
There's no pointing there. It's under Chris. So anyway, question.
Studio name.
Did you guys ever come up with a studio name or any ideas maybe?
I mean, I thought Hell's Kitchen, but that didn't
Yeah,
really
because
work
it's so
out.
freaking hot in here.
But no, we kind of talked about maybe trying to do a K2 Powerboats if they'll be our sponsor.
K2 Powerboat Studio? Mm-hmm. That's not bad. Or, I even got one.
George Beer Co.
Wait, you can't steal. She's stealing my thunder. Look at her.
I stole your drink that day too.
Oh, yeah, you did, but that's okay.
That kind of rhymes. Georgia Beer Co. Studio.
It does, doesn't it?
Kind of.
It does. It
Flows.
just kinda
And
flows
it's
right out there.
local, so that way I think it would be a good bringing it back home kind of
Well,
thing.
then what we should do is we should
Either
offer
one.
it to either one of those. If
Yeah.
they want to make a power, what did you say, K2 Power Sports Studio?
Powerboat.
Power Boat Studio. There we go.
They'll get mad.
K2 Power
Powerboat.
Boat Studio.
Yeah. They make
K2
some
Powerboat. That
awesome
sounds actually
fishing
pretty good.
boats. Like, have you ever looked at their website? They have some amazing fishing boats. I think they have 18-foot to a 25-foot. I might be wrong on that, but
Oh, geez, Paul, we may have to go look at this. They brought a brand new boat, and we have a fishing team too. Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
and, like truly, these boats. I've been to like their plant. I guess is what you call it. Many times, you can see from the beginning project of it to the very end, all in house, and he'll give you a tour. So
Where's this at?
it's in Dothan, Alabama.
Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. Dothan.
Yeah.
Well, you know we have one of those in Nashville. It's called Chaparral.
Yeah, but this is the way I know. So I'm just,
Oh, well, it sounds like he's a little more personable than those people. And the people up there, it's almost
Well-
like they won't even talk to you.
A.L. Kirkland used to actually race power boats back in the day. And
Oh,
if you
really?
go on to YouTube, you can see where he used to race. And I have completely forgotten the name of his racing thing. But it's like in the early 80s, probably 90s. But you can see him racing. And I pulled up a couple of videos. I'll have to show them to you sometime.
Oh, nice.
Like, incredible. And I don't do that kind of stuff on the water at all. And there's your phone. But
It's
like,
it's K2 Power Sports. He's calling already. What? What's up? No, it's not
But
him. It's
I'm
Pam.
pretty sure Adolphus is probably working right now, but
Yeah.
like he'll probably work till about 7. But yeah, like you can pull up the videos. It's pretty amazing. So maybe we
nice.
can get him either in studio, probably not, but maybe at least
But
call in.
That would be cool if we could get him either come in or we can do a Zoom call with him.
Mm-hmm.
You can let him know that because we just had Georgia Beer Company in
We
here. and
had
they're
Chris
talking-
Jones from Georgia Beer in here.
They're talking about coming back again, and it'd be great to have them as a sponsor. But also, you started working out, I heard.
I mean, let's don't get all crazy now. I started walking. Working out and walking are not the same.
Well, you bought a membership. That's the beginning.
Well, I have 2 gym memberships.
And you're not using That's what they call waste of money.
I have 2.
Anyway.
No, I mean, my clothes are in the car. I could easily go after I leave here.
Yeah, but
I'm
you don't.
probably not.
You're not going
but I have started walking. The last couple of weeks, I've started walking like each and every day, rain or shine. I started doing keto.
So, but I thought the people that got you. What is that guy's name that owns the gym? Or whatever
The CrossFit studio.
CrossFit, yeah.
I am not that adventurous
Athletic?
or athletic, clearly, to do the box jumps and everything. But
Yeah.
it's gosh, it's gonna kill me. I think it's SBMS Studio
Right.
On Bemis. I tried to get them to come
That's
today.
what I'm saying. Let's see if we can get him in the studio because my sister-in-law was doing that type of stuff down there in Key Largo, and she said she just absolutely loved it.
Joshua is in great shape. He's also a firefighter too, but him and his partner own that studio. And like I watch the videos in the morning as I'm, getting
As
ready.
you're putting your makeup on,
Truly, as
I'm
I'm
doing
putting
my
makeup on
workout.
and drinking my coffee. But I'm like, it's so impressive because they have 5 a.m. classes and they have classes all the time. But I catch the 5 a.m. like videos and like truly these people, you can see where they start off at being like my size to they get to this like, goddess size body and you're like, well, I could be doing that. Not really.
Well, it makes you. Well, you could.
I
mean,
could.
it's just to me, there's just too much discipline. I'm good with discipline. Number one, I don't like people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
And number two, I
have no
I don't like
coordination.
sweating that much.
I don't. I have no coordination.
Oh,
none.
okay.
And you've seen me walk. I stumble as I walk.
She
So
fell up the stairs.
yeah, I mean, so I don't want to bust my tail and
Right. I completely understand.
break a hip,
I-
get put down because I broke my hip.
We're gonna we're gonna take Dana to the cemetery. We're putting her down today.
We're taking her out to the
her
pasture.
her last words and rights will be given.
I mean, that's about what would happen though. Could you imagine? I hurt my back picking up a laundry hamper for God's sake.
Look, let me tell you something. As much as you have done in your life, especially giving birth to a kid, you have so much to offer everybody else, and the things that you do. And there's so many people compliment you on who you are and what you do. And I just want to say thank you for coming on here with me, because it's not easy. That's for sure. Is it, Chris?
What?
Exactly. He's not listening to me. See, he's learned to ignore me already. So anyway, but I wanted to say thank you for that because she takes care of stuff when I'm not around.
It's fun. It's really fun here. But I think that either we should really have either K2 Powerboat Studio or Georgia Beer Co. Studio, or if the CrossFitters want to jump in and
Make it some kind of CrossFit studio.
yeah.
Well, we're not doing. We can. Hey, we can move. They can do cross. No.
I am not exercising. I'm just gonna put that out there.
The hell you won't.
I won't.
Chris, if I was as skinny as you, I wouldn't
Alright.
exercise either.
No, but
I mean, you weigh $120,
but
and
he
that's
could
so
probably
good.
do
On a
like
good day.
like a jump like nobody's business and
Yeah, no, white man can't jump. You didn't know that?
Mm-mm. No, this white man
Anyway.
definitely not.
we could have them come and show us like a box jump or something,
Oh yeah, that would
Yeah.
be pretty cool. We'd have to do away with the table, and I'd get in my. You know what? That'd be cool. I could get in my stretch pants and my half shirt. I could be back in the '80s.
Josh-
I'd get my not Gene Simmons. What's his name?
Richard Simmons?
Richard Simmons
Sweating
shorts.
to the oldies.
Yes. Get my Richard Simmons shorts, my knee-high socks, and my half-cut shirt. What y'all think?
It has
I
begun.
say
And then
But that would be kind of fun, though. I think that if we can get Joshua Knight in here to show some moves and stuff.
And then drink a beer afterwards. That would be cool.
yeah,
See there, we have them all
There you
together.
go.
What we'll do is we'll get in one of K2 Power boats. We'll do a little bit of cardio on there with the cardio guys,
The CrossFitters.
CrossFitters, and then after that we'll just sit on a boat and drink a beer.
right. It all ties in
Look at
together.
that.
Yeah,
And you can make it all work out at one time.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, we need to find a name to the studio. We got a couple more weeks, and then we're gonna again move on. From
Well,
there.
Adolphus Kirkland, I'm calling you out,
Hey, she did it, not me.
and Amy. So
And Amy.
Amy. So Adolphus and Amy are owners of K2 Powerboat.
Oh, that's why you can let her call you out like that. You got to respond now. It's totally on you now. So anyway, let's get on to a little bit of sports stuff. So we're going to start out with if this is kind of a local sport. People may not think of it as a sport, but if you've ever been on a boat for 2 days straight fishing in a tournament, it's a sport. Am I right, Paul?
Absolutely.
Paul and some of the team No Agenda.
You mean this
People-
team?
Oh wow, that's pretty. Where did you get that? Team No Agenda.
Team No
Hot diggity dog. Yeah, and Team No Agenda actually went out and they were in a Panacea, right?
Yes.
Panacea tournament in Panhandle of
Rock the dock.
Florida, Rock the Dock. You can look it up. Their name's not in there because they didn't place. But look at.
Ouch.
I want you to see. This would be Chris's uncle, which would be Paul's brother,
What's his name?
and his name is
Glenn.
hold on, Glenn. It's Glenn, because I asked him what Glenn's name was, and they said Glenn. I'm like, what? 2 N. Okay, so we're going to say it's Glenn Hotchkiss. So that's what Glenn got. That was 37 inches and 21 pounds. That fish right there. And from what I understand in the video that I saw, it took all he could to get that thing in there too.
I
Nice fish.
hesitate saying it looks huge, but I'm going to say it anyway. So.
Yeah, well, look at his hands compared to his hands.
Big
You know what I
fish.
mean?
Real big fish.
That's a nice looking fish right there, and he did it from what I watched on the video. He did an excellent job. Had to sit down and reel some of it in, but he did.
But
He
look
wasn't.
at
He
it.
didn't give it up.
Yeah.
He didn't give it up. He stayed right on. So that was an offshore or an inshore fish, but our team was registered in the offshore category. So we couldn't register that one. So that one wasn't there. And then the next fish was Paul, which has been on the show before, and he's also sitting right beside us. And that was actually it was 21 pounds.
About 11.
It was 11 pounds, 21 inches. How long was it?
Something like that. I didn't remember.
I think 21 pounds sounds better, though.
Yeah, I thought they did too. But, we're going to go with what Paul says it's 11 inches or 11 pounds, and that's where we're going. That's a nice fish, though. That also was not in season because the season for those are in June. So that had to go back in the water, and that was heartbreaking. And then there was this one that is also, look how big that fish is. I mean, just compared to that little Mr. Parker there. That fish is almost as big as Mr. Parker is. Look at how tall as he is. So let me give you a little story about that fish. So that fish right there, they caught it, and they caught the other one, and I was like, and I got those 2 photos. Paul actually sent them to me. And was it Mike or you?
Mike.
Mike sent them to me. And I'm like, wow, look at these 2 different fish. They're on the leaderboard, and I'm all excited they're on the leaderboard and everything else because they caught all these fish. And then I talked to Paul later in the day, and Paul's like, Roger, that's only 1 fish. They all took turns taking pictures of it. So I was like, thank you. And he said that they did that just to pull your chain. And they did, because all day I thought we were doing great in this tournament. And here, this is the same freaking fish. But it's bigger than
It's
Mr.
still
Parker.
impressive.
Look
It's
at
still-
yeah, it's bigger than Mr. Parker
Yeah.
is. And he's a deputy out there. Look, that fish will whoop him if he ain't careful. I don't think so.
It's a pretty impressive fish.
It
though.
is. I'm gonna tell you, it's a nice looking fish, and so was the red though. So that was their tournament they're doing, and we're actually going down this weekend. We're leaving Thursday, and that's why one of the reasons I'm back in town to see you, of course.
Of course.
And then we're headed down on Thursday to Marathon Keys, Florida. We have entered into the Cow and Bull tournament in Marathon. So we've got everything's ready for us to go. We found out today that we're actually going to have a slot for our boat, so we don't have to take our boat in and out of the water, which is cool. So Team No Agenda, which is like the team, the shirt she has, believe it or not, the only purple shirt that we have ever made.
Wow, look how
That's the
special.
only shirt, and I bought it for me, but I said she could have it. She picked it, so I told her she could have it.
Really?
Yeah, I really did, but that's fine. It's yours. now.
Oh, no.
No, it's yours. No, it's yours. You think of me every time you put it on. Anyway, see, I knew I had an angle there, didn't you, Chris?
You said pick a color. I just chose the color.
So anyway, yeah, she was choosing me. That's what it was.
Exactly.
So we'll be down there in Marathon Keys, Florida this weekend, and Team No Agenda. So you go to our website, which is what, Chris?
TheArmchairSports.com.
And you can get to Team No Agenda there, or you can go to Team No Agenda at teamnoagenda.com or teamnoagenda.net.
Yep.
Or I'll be posting all weekend long on TikTok. I don't know if Paul's going to be able to do it or not. Mr. Paul is going to have to upload the pictures and everything from the internet for us. and put them on our website. So I know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to say, "Hey, Chris, can you help me out with this?"
No, he's been doing good.
I can post on those.
Oh, he can post. Oh, I'm going to bombard him with posts now. You watch this. Here we go. You gave me a challenge. Anyway.
Oh, gosh.
So we're going to be down there. So let's move on. And that is pretty much a wrap on that. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. And then we're going to come back and we're actually going to talk basketball playoffs and NFL draft. And it's going to be pretty much it. And then we'll talk maybe a snippet about the new Lowndes County football coach, because last week when we were on the air, right as we got off air, it was announced that he was named the head coach. So we weren't able to get to that last week. So we'll talk about Mr. Zach when we come back.
Research less and relax more with eTravel Anytime. Let us help you decide which Sandals destination is best for your romantic getaway, or help you choose the family resort that is best for your vacation. We can also help you decide which cruise is best for you and your family. Tell us your preferences and we can narrow down your choices. Contact us today so we can help you plan your next vacation. Call 229-300-3691. Need a website for your business? Let Shadowfox Design help. We will design and build your website so you have more time for your business. We will help with all your online needs so you have more time for your customers. Learn more and get started now by going to www.shadowfox.design.
I don't drink all the time though.
Yes, you do. You drink. I just gave her the offer. I said, I said you can go on the boat and take pictures and everything. And I said, and you can drink beers. You can bring Georgia beer down there and drink on the boat. She's like, okay, I'll be your TikTok person and your live Facebook and everything else. She'd be like this.
I know, that's exactly how it be.
Paul was just telling us this weekend. He said they got beat up. It was like riding a Bronco while they were over there. He said it was bad. They didn't even go out. They went out to the bridge and they couldn't get no further.
Yeah, I'd be sick as a dog.
You know what? Who cares? You gotta have fun. You gotta live.
Drink.
And you can take your son with you too. So look at there.
What does drama mean? You'll be fine.
Drama. She's all drama means. Oh, you want to put up a drama meme? What did you say? Drama meme? What?
Drama mean.
Dang, y'all are killing me again.
You're killing us.
All right, let's talk about playoffs. So you got NBA playoffs right now. And somebody told me yesterday, they were like, "Oh, that's not over yet." Oh, it's my mother-in-law. "Oh, that's not over yet." No, ma'am. College is over with. Pro is still going to go for another month.
Wow, I feel like it's been going forever.
Yeah, I know. Well, they play. They do. They actually play so many games, and it's just like then they come to the playoffs and they got this playoff right here. I don't understand why they don't play only 5 games. They're playing 7 games, and then they're playing 7 games, and then they'll play another 7 games. So that's another 21 days if you don't go in between. So, but right now what you're looking at is Phoenix and New Orleans are tied 2-2. Dallas and Utah, which played last night, are 3-2. And if I'm not mistaken, Dallas is ahead on that one. And then your Golden State Warriors, they should have wrapped this up yesterday, but they, for some reason, are goofing around and playing around. They're up 3-1. Memphis, Minnesota. Now I'm gonna tell you, I watched the Memphis, Minnesota game, and I gave Minnesota not a chance at all. But then when I watched the ball game, I don't give either one of them a chance past this round. Because they walk the ball up the court, they stand there for 5 minutes to determine what they're going to do, and then they try to throw the ball around and rush at the last second. In the NBA this year, you're going to have what they call is, and you don't know, so I'm not asking you.
Well, because clearly I'm looking at you going,
yeah. So what they do is they run the ball. We call it pushing. They run the ball up court and they run it all the way to the other end, and they try to catch the other people off guard, being lazy and slow. Now, Golden State does that. Dallas somewhat, and Phoenix does that really good. But then when you get over here to Miami, that's one of Miami's biggest things is they push the ball up court. And I was just watching these two teams, and it's just like Memphis and Minnesota they're like they're 50 years old, and these guys walking around just bringing the ball up the court lackadaisical and just be like, oh, okay, we're going to shoot it and try to win. And that's probably why they're still 2-2, because nobody really cares. I shouldn't say that, because Memphis is ranked number 2, so they've won a lot of games this year. But I don't think people play as hard as they should until
Maybe
they
they're out
get
of
to the
steam
NBA.
at this point. Maybe they're just like.
Well, as many games as you play, you would think so.
I mean,
I completely agree with you there, because they play 85.
I mean, it feels like
games.
this has been going on forever. And I honestly did catch the Golden State Warriors game.
Yeah.
By total accident, but
She's like, oh well, let me stop. I see basketball.
well, no, I was having dinner and it was on, and it wasn't last night, but it was the Sunday's game.
Yeah.
Because I was having dinner and it was on at the sports bar, and so I was watching it.
And you're thinking, oh well, maybe.
I was like, this has been going on forever. I feel like.
Yep, and it has, and you know, they started in something like October. And here we are going all the way, and we're going to be into May. Mm-hmm. And the finals aren't until, I don't even know what day the finals are. But these are 7 games apiece. This is 7 games, and then this is 7 games. So they still have 21 games to go without intermittent. So you have another month of this. It's ridiculous. It's the NFL can't put enough people in, and their playoffs are. What, 3 weeks, 4 weeks long, and because they have to put the Hall of Fame game or whatever it is, not Hall of Fame game, the Pro Bowl game in between, so they have enough time for the Super Bowl people to rest up. Whereas the NBA, they just keep going and going and going. They're like the freaking Energizer Bunny. They need to cut it down somewhere. Something needs to happen. We can't get the NBA to do. I mean, the NFL to go to 16, or the NCAA to go to 16-team finale. But you got the NBA that's going on for all year. So I guess they're getting their money's worth. But so then you got Miami and Atlanta. Now I like the Hawks, but there's just no way they don't have enough juice to play against Miami. So it's 3-1. I think Miami's going to take that series pretty quickly. If not, I think it's tonight. It's either tonight or tomorrow night. And then you got Phillies playing Toronto, and that's just a toss-up, because neither one of them I don't think are going to get to the end anyway. And you got Milwaukee and Chicago. Milwaukee has been showing that they've been playing really good ball, but Chicago the last 2 games have been excellent. And then you got Boston and Brooklyn. Now, let's look at those 2 teams real quick, inside them a little bit. And here's one of the reasons why, because I love Boston. I am a big Boston fan. I've been a Boston fan all my life as far as basketball goes. I used to watch Larry Bird, so I know what it was like when Larry Bird played. So you look at both of their records, and I'm the only one that didn't give myself the Boston one. I knew I was going to do it to somebody. I was hoping it wasn't me.
You want me to put?
She's like, here, look, I don't care.
Well, look, and I can't read it anyway. It's like having to.
Well, no, but if you look at them and you look at the different teams and you look at the way they're lined up, Brooklyn, especially if you look at the money. Now, you can see this because you're sitting right here beside me. 26 million, 27 million. 3 million, 2 million, 14 million, 28 million, 3 million, 15 million, 2 million, 3 million. And that's leaving 1, 2, 3, 4 players out, and that's leaving 1 player under $1 million. All right, so that's leaving 4 players out. Now, this is the roster for the Boston Celtics. Okay, so if you kind of add those up, that's what, 50 million, 53, 55. Yeah, I'm busy right now, thank you. 55, and then 14 million would be what, 50 or 65, 69, 28 million. So you're looking at about $100 million for Boston. This is Brooklyn. 1 million, 4 million, 1 million, 8 million, 400,000, 1 million, 42 million.
Oh, the 400,000
1 million.
guy.
Yeah, exactly. 17 million, 35 million, 5 million, 4 million, 33 million, 2 million. One person under 400,000, and we only have 2 missing there, so you don't know their stats. my whole point. They bought this whole team. These are some of the elite on this team. And they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. Or they did lose 40-0. They didn't even win a game last night. That's right, I was watching last night. Duh. They didn't even win a game. And their roster is 5 times heavier than the Boston Celtics. This tells you cannot buy a team. You have to develop a team. And that right there is the harsh reality that these people need to get a hold of. Because what they're saying, everybody's like, okay, well, we need to do this, and we need to buy, if we could put these two people together. Look, Harden couldn't even stay there, and he was one of the top elite defenders and shooters. So, and I know I'm talking like French and Spanish and everything else. You over here, I'm just ranting.
Hey, I know some of these names.
But
Not-
she's like, no, not really, I'm lying. But so
I used to go to Hawks games when I was younger.
well, yeah, but you're talking about Dominic Wilkes back then. You're not talking. He's been out. He's in
Shut your
Hall of Famer now. You're what? You're 41, so that puts you.
Yeah.
She's actually older than me, and I'm 55. So
I'm 67.
now you're lying to everybody.
Hey,
Look
but I was
great.
good for 67 though.
If you were, that's why you say it.
I know.
What'd you say, Chris?
Look great for 67.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have went for like 77 and really.
There you go.
You'd be like, dude.
Nobody will believe it then.
But nobody believes the 67 either. I don't know who y'all are kidding, but
I mean,
Resemble that remark?
yeah, the 67-year-old in the corner back here falling asleep because it's 4:00 in the afternoon.
it's been a long day. It's been a long
It's been
day.
a long day. So okay, what I
Time
want to
for
do
a
now?
siesta.
Huh?
Time for a siesta.
Yep, it's 5:00 somewhere. Here in 50.
Speaking of Margaritaville.
Yeah, no kidding. So Margaritaville, I didn't realize they put one in Jacksonville, and they got
Really?
they got that new margarita boat.
Yeah.
I wonder who told me about that, Mr. Paul.
Yeah.
And well, we actually saw it when we were on our last cruise too. But we were on one of the last cruises that boat was going on before it got commissioned to be the Margaritaville.
Oh,
So it was actually pretty cool because we got to go to all their seminars and things that were on the boat. We didn't go; we just took their tokens. So it is what it is. That's what everybody does. You go, hey, let's go to Disney World. Okay, well, let's go to one of them timeshare things. We can sit at that timeshare, and they'll give us free tickets to Disney, and we don't have to pay for them. All we have to do is take a tour.
Yeah, but when you
That's a
be
wasting
spending
2
more-
hours.
No,
my
you don't have
life.
to. You don't have to buy a timeshare.
Oh.
You just sit down in the timeshare, and they take you and show you the timeshare and everything. You come back, and then they try to force you to buy it. But then you say no. Then well, let me go get my boss. He says no. You say no to him.
So it's like buying a car.
Yeah. And so you walk out, and then you have to walk out right past where you get your. I mean, I used to do it. I ain't gonna lie. And they give you free tickets to go. They give you 2 free tickets to go to Disney. So we come back the next day and do it. So we get our whole family done.
Heck yeah.
So yeah,
I
you
used to
do
go
that,
to
didn't you, Mr. Paul?
What?
Don't lie. You used to do the timeshare thing so you could get free tickets to Disney. Don't lie.
I've done it a time or two.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody. See, Mr. Paul ain't gonna lie to anybody, but he ain't gonna tell you all of it to begin with. But so yeah. And as old as you are, you haven't done that.
I've done it once, and I will never do it again.
Why? Because it's too. What did you say?
It's 2 hours
It's
of my
2
time.
hours of my time. I'll never get back.
It is. It's 2 hours of my life, and I just cannot.
$100. Hey, you gotta pay $150 to get in the park now.
Yeah, my wife won't care. It's the 4-hour drive down that she's like, nope. We ain't going.
I don't even mind the drive. The park itself is what I'm like. No,
I don't mind driving at all. I love driving. I love going places, but my wife, she doesn't.
She's like,
and it's fine.
She's like, nope,
Yeah.
it ain't happening. Well, you know what you do? You leave her there with your father-in-law, with your father,
No.
and then yeah, wouldn't that work out good, Paul?
Yes.
See?
Well, no, I was reading my text message.
Oh, yes or no?
Anyway, what are we moving on to?
So what's
We're
next
moving
then?
on
What are
to
we
something.
looking at
What's
here?
All right,
next?
what we're doing next, we're actually doing the NFL draft because
NFL.
we're done with the NBA because we won't be done with that for a month now. But the draft is coming up Thursday.
Wait,
Thursday night.
wait. Before we move on, I had a question
He had
for
a
you.
question for me, and he
Yeah.
we wouldn't ask me
Okay.
earlier.
I saw a clip from Miami Heat game where dude it was nice. It was a good shot, but he did a trick play where he, went to the left, went to the right real quick, and was able to get around the other player. But as he did, the ball was in his right hand, and he took 2 steps before he went up for a layup. Is that? I mean, I thought that was walking.
No, it's called a Euro step. And you're allowed to take 2 steps in basketball. Now, what they're doing that I don't understand but to answer your question, no, that's totally illegal. It's totally legal because what he's doing is he's back facing on the right side, then he's turning around and coming back, hoping to catch the guy spun out. If he catches the guy spun out, he hooks him with his left arm, and he spins around and goes up just like that. So he has the guy behind him the whole time. So if the guy tries to foul him, he reaches over top, and if he reaches over top, he fouls him, and then he can get the ball up anyway because he has his arm extended out, and their arms are like 12 feet long.
Yeah.
So he'll reach over the top of his head and hit him in the head. If he hits him in the head, it could be a technical foul, depending on how he hits his head, because you're not allowed to touch him over the,
Right.
But yes.
I was just curious.
But then you got what they call a Euro step, where they do that, and these big guys are taking a big step, and then going back the other way with a step. And I think that's walking. They're calling that a Euro step. And I think that's 3 steps. 2 steps is a walk. 3 steps is 2 steps is fine. 3 steps is a walk.
Oh, okay.
And I don't.
So, because on his third hit, both feet had left the ground. On as he was going for the third step, both feet had left the ground, and he was in the air.
So it was, as long as his foot didn't touch the ground.
Yeah, I watched the clip like 20 times.
Yeah.
Just because it happens so quick. You're like,
I literally do that with a DVR. I'll rewind it and go back and watch what they missed. But
it was just one of those short Facebook story videos that you can't rewind or anything.
Yeah, they're all just like. But see, that's the thing is, everybody's wondering, and I got a feeling they're going to start looking at that, just like they've done the sidestep and also the elbow hook. If you hook, it's a foul now. But I've got a feeling they're going to start looking at that a little bit closer. Because people are taking way
he
advantage
did good, yeah. But it was good because he was able to get around the other player, which was good. But I would have thought that he would have had to at least dribbled one time between him and the basket.
Not necessarily, because if he does a spin and he only moves he doesn't move his pivot foot, the 1 step doesn't count till his pivot foot comes off the ground. Then it's 1 step. Then he can take another step, because that back foot's going to lead him into taking the 2nd step, which is actually the 2nd step. Sometimes that looks like, because if you spin back from your left back to your right, it looks like you're taking a step, but your pivot foot has never moved, so it's not a step. As long as you're on that pivot foot and you rotate on that pivot foot, you're fine. You can rotate in freaking circles all day long like this, as long as.
Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't go from back to front. He was forward facing, and he just did a quick,
that's what they call it,
ankle breaker or something.
Yeah.
So he went to the left, his ankles went like that, and then he went back to the right, and he was able to get around the other guy.
And that's exactly what it's for, is to get him off balance. You call it ankle breaker. We call it him getting him off balance. If you can get your defender off balance, you have better control, because you're off balance and I'm in controlled balance going onto your right. You're slightly going this way. I have more reaction speed to your right. As your body momentum is going left, if I go right, you're not going to be able to compensate unless you actually foul me.
Yeah.
So yes, I completely understand that.
Okay. I was just curious.
Look at that.
All right, so playoffs.
Well, since my daughter plays basketball and I'm now on a sports show, I think I should know some things, right?
You should know a little bit about it. Yeah. Yes, a little bit about it, Dana.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm talking about him. Don't get offended.
Me. I wasn't talking about you at all.
I caught the game on Sunday.
You caught it. What did you call it? Catch it.
I caught.
Did you hear any of it?
She watched it.
Did you hear any of it?
It was on mute the whole time.
It was on YouTube. That's how she watched it.
It was on mute, but I saw it.
How far away was it?
Like from here to here.
And you said you couldn't read
the bar.
You said you couldn't read this.
I could see what was going on.
At a bar.
I wasn't drinking.
She knew where I was going. Were you
drinking.
eating? Were you full? You were drunk with food. You couldn't have seen it that far.
Read
Anyway, so
Moving on.
we're moving on. We're going to the NFL, and
NFL.
after this week, it's gonna be Katie bar the door, because Thursday night, starting Thursday night, I think it's 8:00, is the draft will actually start. They'll do the whole first round on Thursday, second, third round on Friday, fourth and fifth and sixth round, maybe the seventh round on Saturday, I think, or maybe some on Sunday. But anyway, nobody ever watches the last two for some reason. Nobody really ever comes out of that. But the Jaguars have the first round. They're still back and forth. I did watch an interview and everything with Coach Ed for the Jaguars and the player management, and they said that they have 4 people, and everybody knows 2 that they're looking at, but we're not sure about the other 2. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see which way they go. And they said they're going to try to pick all 4 of those players if they don't come off the board first. So I'm wondering if maybe somebody is talking to them about trading up to number 1. And if they trade up to number 1, then that means Jaguars will fall back. But I don't see us giving away a first-round pick without 2 other first-round picks. I just don't see it. And some of the only people that are going to do it, and like Pittsburgh is now talking about taking Baker Mayfield. There's a real strong possibility that he goes to Pittsburgh from Cleveland, because they have Deshaun Watson now. They don't need Baker, but they're not. It doesn't feel like they're in a rush to actually get rid of him. But a story I heard this weekend was that it's in all probability Baker Mayfield will be in Pittsburgh as their quarterback at the beginning of next year. We'll see what happens. So you got Jaguar up first in Detroit. Nobody knows what Detroit's going to do. They always suck on their picks, so nobody has a clue. They're probably going to go opposite of whatever we do. So if we go offensive line, they'll go defense. If we go defensive line, they're going to go offense. Probably. But we don't play there. The team I'm looking at right now, the 2 teams, are the Houston Texans and the Jets. That's number 3 and number 4. Both of those teams are in our region with Jacksonville. Now, Houston has had some talks about moving up, and if I'm not mistaken, the Jets have had talks with Jacksonville about moving up because they're both looking at the same person. So I guess if Houston stays where they're at, they'll get who they want probably. I don't think Detroit knows what year it is. Somebody's trying to call me now, but and then New York, you got the New York Giants, which they're talking about picking the first quarterback in the draft, and they do. It'll be a wild one. And then there's still talk about the 6th round pick, which is Carolina. They're talking about Baker Mayfield going to Carolina also. So that's going to be really interesting. If they have Baker Mayfield solid in there, they might trade that 6th pick away, which we'll see. And then you got New York Giants. There's no telling what they're going to do. And then you got the Falcons. They've got to get a quarterback. They've got to do something about a quarterback. So I think if anybody pulls up, I think what might happen is you might see Atlanta moving up the board to pick a quarterback before either New York does, the Jets do, or Houston do. So they're the ones that I would put my money on as far as trading up to Jacksonville. If they have enough to give away, they have just about everything else that they need. They need a quarterback. So if they trade for the number 1 spot, pick a quarterback, and they give away, I don't know what they have to give away, though. That'd be like me giving you, 4 cookies and saying you're going to give me 12 back, and you only give me 8. There's just really nothing there to give me back. Mm-hmm. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do. That one to me is a real interesting spot with Atlanta. I really think they want to move up, but I don't know if they have the cards to do it. It's like playing solitaire. If the cards aren't in it, you just can't do it. So that's the NBA draft. That's what's happening this weekend.
And that starts on Thursday.
That starts on Thursday, and I will be on the road, so feel free to text me the very first pick, because I'm going to try and be at the rest stop or whatever at 8 o'clock so I can see that first pick.
You know what? Maybe I'll be watching it.
Please do. That way you can tell me about it. How's that?
Hey, I told you some news last week, so
yes, you did.
I do bring something to the table sometimes.
It's not going to hurt you to watch the NFL draft. Sometimes it's boring, but you get to you listen for the picks, and they have the number run across there, how much time's left, and they'll say the pick is in, and then you could pay attention, and then once that pick's in, you don't have to listen to anything else till the next pick comes in. And that's what Mama T does. Sometimes she'll pick it, and she'll watch the pick, and then she'll go do something else, and then she'll come back and watch the pick, or she'll start playing.
You know
the
what?
game.
I'll do it just because.
Okay. All right, and text me as soon as you get.
Oh,
'Cause
the minute I get.
I may be on the water because we're talking about going fishing that night. So
All right.
to prep fish for the next day. So anyway, so yeah, that's going to be good. Everybody else. Also, one other thing, we're going to go ahead and move on to. Excuse me. This is a release from the Lowndes County Board of Education or the Lowndes Viking website. They have hired a new coach. Again, as we said at the beginning of the show, their coach was actually hired before, right after our show went off last week, so we haven't been in report. So it's been overemphasized, and everything's gone in and out and all this other stuff. So, but they approved him last week. He's been coaching for 15 years. He has pretty good experience. He won the state championship with Thomas County Central. With Thomasville High School Bulldogs. He's been there for the last 6 years, won a state championship, and maybe he could bring some good stuff to Lowndes County. I hope so. And I'm still puzzled at everything that's happened in the background and why that coach left. The last coach left. He was a good guy. We interviewed him in the studio. Myself and Jimmy Lindsay did, and he was the guy was good, and all the kids were. And all the assistant coaches and everything were right, but he lost a lot of coaches that went off to be head coaches, like Cook County. Cook County's coach is Slack. Right, it's Coach Slack, who used to be at Lowndes. So he's lost a bunch of good coaches. Now I think Slack went to Moultrie and was in Moultrie afterwards, and then went to Cook County, but they have lost a lot of coaches there and a lot of good coaches, and they're going to be head coaches. So it's not that Lowndes County, they were pretty decent. They didn't have much this year, this past year. And they didn't have a lot. Their seniors were great. They stuck it out, and they did better than anybody anticipated at the beginning of the year, including myself. But I think what you're going to see happen right now is that you're slowly going to lose. Lowndes County is going to fall a little bit because they've lost all these big head coaches. Now what and Marcus Rogers, you'll like this. Now what I'm going to say is, I think it's time Valdosta's coming out this year, and Valdosta's in Lowndes County's region this year. So Valdosta and Lowndes is going to be a slobber knocker, and that is going to be one hell of a ball game. I really see Valdosta. If I don't know about Camden, I do see Valdosta being up in the top parts of that region. They're coming off of a 6A school to a 7A school. They should have been playing up anyway. They've got the number of kids. I'm going to be really interested to see how this year plays out. I think it's going to be fun all the way around starting in August. I think you're going to see Valdosta is going to be something that Lowndes is not going to be prepared for. Don't get me wrong. I don't say it as Lowndes is not going to prepare. And that's the first thing everybody out there is going to say. He said Lowndes wasn't going to prepare. That's not what I'm saying. They're not going to be ready for what Valdosta is going to bring, because I think the hype behind Valdosta this year, because they can go to the playoffs, I think that hype behind Valdosta, I don't know. And I'm a big Camden County fan. I love my Camden County Wildcats. But everybody better watch out for Valdosta this year. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'll be the first one to say it. So anyway, that's all I got. What you got? She says, I got to get out of here. That's what I got.
I mean,
I said 5 o'clock. Look what time it is.
5 o'clock.
It's somewhere. No, it's not. It's 7 o'clock. You can't read. It's
Either way,
7 o'clock.
it's time to roll out.
And she says, I'm sweating like a stuck pig over here. It's time to get out
It
of
is
here.
very warm in this place.
I keep trying to tell everybody.
It's you? Yes.
Oh, you need help over there? Hold on. Let me blow on it. Give me a hand. Never mind.
Oh my gosh.
I love you, Dana. All right, guys, ladies, gentlemen. Again, we need a studio name. So we've got, hold on, let me see if I can remember it. Now, I've done
Okay.
all this stuff.
Please get it right.
K2 Power Boats.
That's right.
There you go. See there?
And they are truly like really pretty boats. So if you get
Really?
a chance, yeah, like
Well, nobody cares that it's purdy. They want to make sure it can fish.
no, and I've been on them a few times. Like I have to say, like I don't know about fishing or anything, but there's all these bells and whistles and gadgets and stuff, and
Yeah.
they have built-in coolers for like
For
every.
beer?
and
For your Georgia beer, you
No,
guys
for-
building coolers
Well,
at the
they
K2.
do for your Georgia
K2,
beer.
Yeah,
But
K2
they have like
Power
your
Boats.
fishing coolers. They have the other stuff. I mean,
Live wells.
thank you.
Yeah, we don't have a live well in mine.
Thank you.
I
Well-
think he's making one though. So anyway, don't go nowhere, Mr. Paul. You're gonna walk in front of our cameras. We're not off. We're not off yet.
I wasn't going to.
Mr.
Or-
Paul, look at Mr. Paul standing out. He ready to get out of here too.
I've,
5 o'clock somewhere.
it's either K2 Power Boats or
K2 Powerboat Studio or Georgia Beer Studio or
yeah, I don't really remember the name of the other place that well. So
that's one way to get a great sponsorship right there.
well, you know what?
Yeah.
I've invited them multiple times to come on the show and remind me of their name. So
Well, tell him give me a call.
there you
Seriously, tell him to call me.
go. Okay.
Or give me his phone number and I'll call him.
Be like
Hey, this is little Roger.
Roger Dodger.
Hey, come see me up at the studio. Okay.
Yes, that'll get everybody in the studio.
Come see me.
All right. So
I wear my
thank-
short skirt and my Richard Simmons. Not Richard Simmons. Why did I do
It
that?
is Richard Simmons. Yes. Wait
I
until the
got it
oldie.
right. My Richard Simmons shorts and my
I
shirt.
was a fat 7th grader, and I was.
I tell you what. I'll make you this offer, and I know you want to see all this. If he comes in here and does a show, I will show up in my sweats and my half shirt. I'm not kidding you. I'll do it right here.
I think Chris and I can both say we don't want that to happen.
Okay. Well, you don't bring him in as a sponsor then.
Or maybe we bring him in just because we can use that.
Maybe bring him in and
Take
you'll see
photos.
her in a half shirt and sweatpants. Yeah, look at that. How about Mr. Paul?
I think
That's
we should
what
circle
everybody
back to
wants.
that.
Do what?
What?
What'd you say?
Go ahead.
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, you are.
You
Nope.
said you want to do
Nope.
a half shirt,
You
No.
said you wanted to
the
have.
hula
No,
skirt.
no,
what are we
no,
talking
no.
about here?
I said, I think we can circle back to that.
Oh, he's trying to say get out there. Okay.
like it, I like
He's
it.
trying to say let's get that. Get out of here.
All right,
guys.
so-
We'll circle as Chris would say. Go ahead. You can say it better than any of the others.
And we'll circle back to
Oh
that.
no! Wait, you ain't gonna leave on that note. He's like this. Y'all look at him in the mic. He leans down on it. He's like, oh baby, oh baby. Go ahead. All right, Chris. Now, just stay right there and say it. Don't leave it.
MC a jazz station.
All right, go ahead. I'm ready.
We'll circle back to it.
Later, dude.